Hello and welcome to the Temple of Tomes with your host, Indie Comics Jones. Today is August 18th, 2021. This is episode 392. The Unbelievable Unteens. That's the book we're looking at today. This is from the world of Black Hammer. If you're familiar with that line, I am not at all. This is a Dark Horse publication celebrating 35 years of publication, and its #1 issue coming in at a whopping $3.99. So, quick look at the cover here. What we've got here is kind of a split thing. I didn't know what it was until I looked into it a little bit more in the book, but on the outside here, we have Jane Ito. She is an artist writer that has created a book called The Unteens that has a fairly cult following. And the outside here, on the left side here, is kind of a ghost corpse of one of the characters within the book, The Unteens. His name is Jack. Boy, I'm drawing a blank. We'll just call him Jack for now. I'll probably come back to me in a minute. What is going on here? It's just kind of a nice cover, nothing really spectacular. And then we've got, I don't know if you can see it, there's kind of like this superimposed page from her comic book in there as well. So we'll take a quick look to see who worked on this. The script is by Jeff Lemire. Art, colors, and letters is Tyler Crook. Cover artist is Tyler Crook. And cover artist for the B cover is John McCrae. Black Hammer, created by Jeff Lemire and Dean Crimston. Looks like. If I got that right. Okay, I'm seeing a little funky today. Excuse me. All right, so our story starts out at a Comic-Con very close to Jane Ito's home. It's in her hometown of Spiral City. She's been doing commissions all day long. And mainly, even though this was the crow at first, it's one of the characters within the book, and the character's name is Snapdragon. So the con is finishing up. Her handler there is telling her, let's come on, let's wrap it up. You can go on home. I'll close up the shop and everything for her. And so she appreciates that. She has some last minute people show up. They want to get signed. They want a selfie with her. And they ask her, is it going to end? Is the comic going to end soon? And she says, well, as long as people keep buying it, it'll keep going. And that's kind of like her secret to them. She does have an ending all figured out if it does seem like the sales falls off and she wants to close it out. But she doesn't want to disclose any more than that. Then we see her make her way home. She buys some ramen, just showing how poor she is. Kind of the typical comic book artist, writer scenario there, that they're just really dirt poor, even though they might have a successful book. And she goes home to keep working on the book. She's got some deadlines to finish up. She really needs to sleep. And then suddenly, one of the characters from her book, The Unteens, shows up. Only it's not the way she's drawn him. This is him dead as a ghost, and kind of like a corpse-looking ghost. His face isn't fully filled out like it was normally in the book. And so he tries to convince her that she's also one of the characters from the book, that she's not really a comic book artist, writer, that she is a superhero like him, and they want to set things right and get Snapdragon out of hell, supposedly their last episode, which is going to be the ending for her book called The White Wraith Saga, actually happened. And one of the characters ended up in hell with the White Wraith. So Jack wants to get her back because Jack's in love with Snapdragon, and Snapdragon's the one that is in hell. So they kind of banter back and forth. He tries to convince her that she really is a superhero. He pulls her outside, brings her to a place called the Moniker Mansion, or Moniker Manor, excuse me, and she realizes this is the exact house that she has drawn in her comic. It's kind of the headquarters for the super teens, the Unteens. um, and led by Dr. Miles Moniker. And this is where we get an explanation of all the other groups. So we have Jack Sabbath, that's his last name, and thank you. You can see that he's got fully facial features, unlike this character here. Here's Snapdragon, Straka, Kid Bloom, and then, of course, this is supposed to be Jane Ito's character called Strobe. So he's trying to convince her that she is actually Strobe, and she's just having none of it. And so they go into the backstory a little bit about the Monikers and how they are a superhero organization put together by Dr. Miles Moniker. I'm not sure if they have a mom or not, but as you can see, he meets up with Ito's family. I don't know if they were called Ito or not, and convinces her that she is actually Strobe, has superpowers just like the other ones. They all have something different. One's telekinetic. Strobe is, I guess, has light. They seem like they all can fly. Jack Sabbath can summon ghosts, and he also seems to have some kind of power beam. They really don't go into it too much, but and it continues on, and this is just really well done. You can see the art is really eerie and but with definition. So there's a good contrast in there with the coloring and everything. I like the book. I didn't love it, and this is kind of, you can see what happened in the White Wraith saga as Snapdragon gets pulled in by the White Wraith and I guess taken to hell. So all this happened probably 12 years before, according to the way I could figure out this book, and now it's like 1998. Whether or not that's correct or not, it doesn't point out specific years, but just trying to do the run through on here. So we continue on. Jack continues to bother Jane, like, you are a superhero. And she say, I'm not, I'm just this. And all of a sudden, Jane ignites, meaning that I guess she is indeed a superhero. And that is where we end the first issue. Second issue coming up, and I don't know if this is the cover or an interior art. They really don't go into it. But oddly enough, it says on sale September 08. So maybe I'm a little off on my 1998, what do you want to call it, estimation of when this comic's taking place. But there you go. It is a recommend. It isn't a story that I particularly care for. It's just not my kind of story. However, it's all very well done. I think it's paced perfectly. It's interesting enough that I could continue to read it, although I am reading so many comics right now. I'm going to drop this one, but I am going to give it a recommend. I just thought it's just not my type of story, but I'm not going to bash it just because of that, obviously. Okay, let's take a look to see what else is going on with Dark Horse. We do have Black Hammer, the trade paperbacks there. Also Sex, Drugs, and Giant Monsters. Jenny Zero, a new hero for a new decade. I believe that is a trade as well. I'm not familiar with that one. Masters of the Universe, Revelation. I think this, at least the TV series, was not that well loved by fans. It's written by executive producers Kevin Smith and Rob David. Episode writer is Tim Sheridan, and featuring art by Mindy Lee. So the art looks pretty darn good, I think, on this, at least the comic books. I don't know if these comic books are going to match up with the episodes on TV or not. So you'll have to figure that one out for yourself. I do not follow the Masters of the Universe, even though I worked for Mattel Toys for 10 years way back then during that time. Rangers of the Divide, Lock, Load, and Take Flight. This is a debut comic series written and illustrated by comic artist Megan Huang. And there you go. That looks good to you. The Secret Land, Christopher Imgard, Thomas Era. Cosmic horror from the creators of The Whispering Dark. So if you like that series, you might want to check that out as well. And get a little thing about Dark Horse Publications. In the back, we get kind of a page print, a monochrome page print from the interior of this book. So there you go. I'm going to give it a recommend. But like I said, I'm not going to continue to follow this one. I just thought it's just not my type of story. And I'm going to try to figure out where to put this and not wreck everything. I'll put it over here. Right here. There you go. It does receive Indie Comics Jones Good Excavating Seal of Approval, given out only by Indie Comics Jones on this particular channel, except no substitutes. So thanks for stopping by and watching this review. As always, please like, please subscribe. If you wish, leave comments. And I got more comics to go. Actually, this is New Comic Book Day today, so I can actually be picking up a few more. I'm just a few behind right now. I think I have like 3 or 4 to go left over. So hopefully I won't be picking up too many and I'll be able to catch up this week. I am going on vacation again next week. And right on New Comic Book Day, so there's going to be another break. But thank you for letting me sticking around even when I'm on vacation. I appreciate it. As always, this is Indie Comics Jones bidding you adieu.